Hello everyone, and welcome back to Confronting Chaos, a series of smaller videos to serve as partners to Chaos Fight videos to help you understand enemy gimmicks, dangerous moves, and why synergy characters are synergy. In this video, I'll be going over the Arciela event Chaos Fight. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. The first wave of this fight is against two Skull Wizards. The second wave is against two Erode Mantises. The Skull Wizards are pretty standard. A strong single target melee attack, a very telegraphed HP attack in Candle in the Wind, and a fair bit of self-buffing. They can grant themselves HP regen, which is a little annoying, but not the worst thing to deal with using a capable team. You will more than likely take some HP damage here, so a healer is necessary. The Erode Mantis is a unique boss for this fight. They are weak to Fire, Wind, and Holy, have no attack type resistances, and are immune to Paralyze and Fluke, which is a frame debuff they apply, which is basically an HP poison. So no Yuffie shenanigans here. They have 4 HP attacks and an interesting gimmick to them. They have 3 modes: Normal, Attack Signal with a red aura, and Starving with a pale, barely visible aura. I didn't notice any particular pattern as to why and when they'll do them, but they affect their next moves in rather specific ways. Without an aura, the Mantis will only do brave attacks if it's broken, and if it has a decent amount of bravery, it will use Blade as an HP attack. After using Attack Signal, the Mantis will have higher attack and gains access to a group HP attack, Hit High Wind, and single target HP attack, Cross Edge Plus, which are upgraded versions of those moves which normally don't have HP hits. When a Mantis goes into Starving, the next move it will use is Gluttony Sickle, a group attack with an HP hit that will always hit, dispels all buffs from the party including frame buffs, and inflicts Fluke. It'll also give itself 5 frame buffs, so a Dispeller is recommended but not necessary depending on your team composition. The attack and the effect of Fluke will get stronger as the fight goes on. Even more so than other Chaos fights, this is absolutely a fight where you want to kill the bosses at about the same time, as if you kill one early, the other one will not only get stronger but also recover HP. With the enemies out of the way, let's analyze the boosted characters for this fight. Arciele arrives and is the highlight support in a time where there are strong supports left and right. Similar-ish to Ignis, she has 2 stances, Ascension and Descension. Ascension focuses on bravery, regen, and party battery, while Descension focuses more on offense and debuffing, with both stances improving party attack. Adding on to that, going into Ascension dispels, while going into Descension applies an HP attack disable debuff for 2 turns. Her EX heals, deals group damage, and gives her a frame buff that raises her offensive powers and grants regen to the whole party. Overall, Arciela just does a lot for the party and offers valuable dispelling and HP silence, adding on to what make her such an effective support. Prishe gets a rework and EX plus on this banner. With her rework, all her skills now have HP dumps as well as more hits in general. She does still have 3 elements across the skills in her kit, but with 0 of 3 on her EX plus, she can imperil all of them to the whole group. 2 of 3 lets her start off with her buffs and EX cast, while 3 of 3 double casts her EX and gives her a free skill use on the next turn. She's certainly better now, but she doesn't really offer a lot to the party outside of just doing damage. Rinoa is the 3rd on this banner, and she's a bit left in the dust. Even aside from characters generally relying on their EX for buffs and longevity, Rinoa especially does, since the majority of her offensive power comes from being an Angel Wing, which she only normally has 4 uses of. She does offer some party utility via battery from her normal attacks in Angela mode and some minimal auras, but otherwise, yeah, she's not going to be that effective without her EX, which isn't available on this banner. The Lost Chapter boosted unit is Prompto. He offers some offensive party auras, battery, attacks that ignore defense, and an EX that comes up pretty fast. With Star Shell, he gets perfect evasion for 3 turns and locks the enemies onto him for 2 turns. This can be used in a pinch, but otherwise also batteries the party and provides a physical attack buff, which oddly enough doesn't really benefit much because Rinoa only has 1 physical attack and Prishe can apply her own physical attack buff. Also, the Erode Mantises have a guaranteed hit group attack, so I mean, Prompto, you're fun, but not entirely sure what you can provide here. The bosses being weak to Fire and Holy is pretty fun because of people like Lulu and Paladin Cecil, and then Ifrit's also a thing. As you'll see in my run, I actually went the Pandemonium route and used Lael to properly utilize all the boosted launch damage. For a standard team though, I'd recommend Ifrit. For friend choice, RNA is fine. A friend Arciela would be rather interesting because the HP silence and battery she provides could help your other 2 teammates still be pretty good, and as a support you could replace your own support and not necessarily lose any auras. Can't forget about Setzer either, of course, but HP Silent is arguably stronger than Freeze when you know when the move is coming. As for the team I chose, here's the breakdown. Snow was the most sensible tank to bring for this fight to me. His defense buffs last for a while, he has good effectiveness against both magic and physical attacks, and his buff count doesn't conflict with what Hope provides. His party healing additional ability helped out after Gluttony Sickle, since Hope can only heal with his EX cast. Snow also has a great ability to heal himself with Frost Strike, which I needed pretty crucially in the first wave of the fight. Hope is just a really good support. Framed offensive buffs, good battery, respectable damage for his role, and good auras. What he lacks most is healing, but as I mentioned, I had Snow's additional ability to help out for that. Probably the main reason I chose him was because both his skills don't add to turn count, and all my clears before this, I was ending up just a few turns over, so I figured Hope would be the most efficient. Lael saw that the enemies were weak to wind and brought along Pandemonium, and they were definitely helpful in making it under turn count. Thankfully, none of the enemies were immune to the Force debuff that helps the team launch easier, and with strong battery coming from him and Hope, launches were pretty impactful. A constant 25% HP damage increase from launches, actually 30% thanks to the Pandemonium Summon Board passive, definitely added up, especially with how much damage the other two could do with their EX casts, and if they weren't dumping HP in a launch, that time was used to get more bravery. With that, this Chaos fight should be covered. If you want to see my footage of this fight, I'll link it in the corner and in the description below. If you liked what you saw and want to see future fights, subscribe so they show up as they're made. If you have any suggestions or thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.